Welcome to this explainer. Okay, imagine this. You wake up tomorrow and just decide, you know what, I'm going to completely change my life. I mean, we've all been there, right? You want to just flip the script overnight? It's this exhausting but universally relatable cycle. We get that sudden burst of inspiration, but as we're going to see today, that intense desire to overhaul literally everything all at once, well, it usually leads us straight into a brick wall.
Okay, let's dive into Section 1, the resolution trap. We're going to look at why huge plans usually fail.
So, when our brains basically short-circuit before we even really get started, it's usually because of what we call the huge plan. You know the drill. Wake up at 5 a.m., hit the gym for 2 grueling hours, read 50 pages of some incredibly dense book, learn a whole new language, start a side hustle, and oh yeah, eat perfectly healthy food with absolutely zero cheat days. Day 1 usually goes beautifully. You feel like an absolute superhero. But then day 2 gets a little tricky. By the end of the week, you are just utterly exhausted. And within a month, you are right back exactly where you started.
Sound familiar? Be honest with me here. You've written a list exactly like this. I know I certainly have. Look, if this resonates with you, I want you to know you are absolutely not alone. And more importantly, I really want you to realize that failing these massive goals is absolutely not about you being lazy or lacking willpower. It's not. It happens because you're simply trying to change way too much, way too fast. The system is what's broken here, not you.
Which brings us to Section 2, the birth of Kaizen, taking us back to post-World War II Japan.
So, let's set the scene. It's the 1950s. Japan's economy was really struggling, and companies like Toyota knew they had to rebuild, but they didn't exactly have unlimited resources. Out of this extreme difficulty, a completely counterintuitive approach to massive success was born. See, instead of asking, how can we become 10 times better overnight, which, let's face it, is exactly what we do with our New Year's resolutions, they asked a completely different question. What is one small thing we can improve today? Just one thing. Maybe a worker notices that simply moving a tool 10 inches closer to the assembly line saves a couple of seconds. Someone else finds a tiny little way to reduce waste. We're talking about tiny, seemingly insignificant daily improvements here.
And this philosophy, it became known as Kaizen. It comes from 2 Japanese words, Kai, meaning change, and Zen, meaning good. So together, it literally translates to change for the better. And by repeating thousands of these microscopic improvements every single day, Toyota built one of the most successful, efficient car manufacturing empires in the history of the world. No giant leaps, you guys, just constant, really small changes for the better.
Moving on to Section 3, the power of 1%, where we explore compound improvement.
Now, what's really interesting about this is figuring out what makes this philosophy actually work for us in our own personal lives. And it really comes down to the math of 1%. If you improve your life by just 1% every day, honestly, it feels totally insignificant at first. Most people would ignore it entirely, mostly because our modern brains are just hardwired to crave those instant, massive results. But here is the absolute secret. Improvement works exactly like compound interest in a bank account. A 1% daily improvement might not look like much on a random Tuesday, but compounded over weeks and months, the mathematical outcome is basically astronomical.
Think of it kind of like planting a seed. On day 1, you water it, and absolutely nothing seems to happen. After a full week of watering, still, nothing exciting. It feels like a massive waste of effort, right? But beneath the soil, completely out of sight, roots are growing deeper and stronger. Months later, that tiny, invisible progress absolutely erupts into a massive tree. Kaizen works exactly the same way. Tiny daily gains compound into extraordinary results. The work is happening, even when you can't actually see the leaves yet.
Let's make this concrete in Section 4, a real-life story. We're going to meet Ali.
So, Ali wanted to lose weight and get in shape, and his story gives us a perfectly clear, practical example of how the Kaizen approach completely destroys the traditional, honestly painful method of trying to reach a fitness goal. Ali originally tried the giant leaps method. He went out, bought the expensive gym clothes, started this punishingly strict diet, and tried to jump straight into 2-hour workouts. Relying entirely on sheer motivation, everything actually felt great for exactly 3 days. Then reality hit. His body was in extreme pain, he missed one workout, then another, and he quickly burned out and just quit. But a few months later, Ali discovered Kaizen and shifted gears to the tiny steps method. We're talking small actions, causing literally zero resistance in his brain, leading to consistent, unstoppable progress. Let's move to his timeline and see how this actually builds. On day 1 with this new Kaizen mindset, Ali just walked for 5 minutes. That's the whole thing. Not 50 minutes, just 5. By week 2, he bumped it up to a 10-minute walk. Months later, he finally decided to add just one healthier meal a day. Notice the progression here. Because these changes were incredibly small, they required almost zero willpower, which meant he never quit. And 1 year later, the guy's healthier than he ever imagined. He didn't make giant changes, he made tiny changes, but he made them consistently.
Okay, Section 5. How to apply Kaizen. Let's look at how to use this in everyday life.
So, how can you do exactly what Ali did? Let's map out how to seamlessly apply this Japanese business philosophy to your modern everyday goals. Take learning a language, like English. The traditional trap is boldly saying, I'm going to study for 3 hours every day. And we all know exactly how quickly that ends. Instead, let's apply Kaizen. Step 1. Learn just 5 new words today. Step 2. Read one single short paragraph. Step 3. Speak out loud for 2 minutes. Yep, that is your whole routine. By replacing a grueling 3-hour study session with these tiny, almost suspiciously easy daily habits, you're going to see absolutely amazing, really overwhelming progress over the course of a year.
And this brilliantly illustrates how the concept works beautifully for creative goals too, like, say, growing a YouTube channel. Most creators spend weeks trying to make their very first video a flawless, cinematic masterpiece. They get super frustrated, and then they never publish anything at all. But a Kaizen creator? They think differently. They publish video 1, even if it's got flaws. For video 2, they just improve the audio slightly. For video 3, maybe they tweak the storytelling just a bit. Making a tiny improvement on each video easily beats trying to make that first one perfect. And let me tell you, after 100 videos, the difference is just incredible.
It's the exact same story for complex, technical skills. Let's say you want to become a software developer and learn a framework like Flutter. Don't try to master everything in one chaotic month. That's a recipe for disaster. Instead, try following these steps. Learn just one concept daily. Read one single article. Build one extremely small feature. Fix one single mistake. By following this incredibly focused pacing, you can honestly master hundreds of complex programming concepts in a single year without ever once feeling overwhelmed.
This brings us to Section 6, Systems over Motivation, which really gets to the core of why we succeed.
So the crucial point is understanding why Kaizen bypasses the brain's internal resistance so flawlessly, while our traditional resolutions completely fail. It's because people do not fail due to a lack of talent. They fail because they rely on motivation. And let's be real, motivation comes and goes quickly. It is deeply, deeply unreliable. You literally cannot schedule it. Systems, on the other hand, are tiny, super easy tasks that completely bypass your brain's alarm bells. When you rely on an easy system rather than a fleeting emotion, you virtually guarantee that you will keep moving forward.
Systems win because the tasks are just incredibly tiny. Your brain doesn't resist them at all because they don't register as a massive drain on your energy. Reading one single page feels totally effortless. Walking for 5 minutes is literally too easy to skip, like you'd feel silly not doing it. Real lasting success isn't built from heroic, huge actions. It's really built from making your daily tasks so incredibly easy that you have absolutely no excuse to skip them.
You know, you really don't need massive changes to create a massive future. You just need small improvements, step by step, day by day. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this provocative thought. What if your biggest barrier to success wasn't your lack of effort, but actually the massive size of your ambition? If the secret to achieving the impossible is simply making things impossibly easy, what is the one tiny thing you will improve today? Answer that, take that tiny step, and just watch how it transforms your life. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.